Welcome back, everybody. This is the U.S. Team Billiards All-Star Championship from November 29th, 2025, held at Racks on the Rocks in Peoria, Illinois. I am John Perkey, and I will be providing some commentary as well as just adding a little bit of score updates to these videos. It's been about a month since this event, and I have not seen these, so we'll be watching them together for the first time. While I was there, I was also playing on other tables at this time. And we have Jukebox, which unfortunately I cannot leave in because YouTube will kill it. So I don't want to do that. That's another big reason why I want to do some commentary for this. Because otherwise you would have to listen to a muted video, or I'd have to mute the audio. And nobody really likes to have a completely silent video playing. So I will be checking to see if the jukebox goes off. I don't remember if it played the entire day. I know the early videos don't have jukebox, but I think as the people came into the pool room, jukebox gets used. Okay, Rudy's break was pretty successful. He made a ball. He's got some kind of look at the one. The 7/8's a little tied up. And there goes Mark Wilson. Now, if you're not familiar with U.S. Team Billiards, it is the brainchild of Mark Wilson, and it was something he kind of ironed the details out while he was building out the collegiate competitive sports side of things during his time at Lindenwood University. And primarily, it's comprised of two formats. You have a 15-ball format and a 9-ball format, and the 15-ball format we don't play during the All-Stars. We just play 9-ball. And mostly that's just because it's something kind of fun, that we do. It's really more for kind of like a bragging rights kind of thing. It doesn't contribute to your overall session performance. 9-ball is just 9-ball. So if you're not familiar with how 15-ball works in U.S. Team Billiards, it is a very humbling game, and it rewards great mental discipline and focus, because the moment you let up, you're going to make a mistake and it's going to cost you. But how it works is you rack all 15 balls, you break them, you take ball in hand, and you try to clear the table. Ooh, Dave had a great job at opening those balls there. He just focused more on the breakout than he did on making the 3. We've all done it. I don't think he would have liked to have shot on the 6 from there anyway, but something to think of. Oh, Rudy. But anyway, back to 15-ball. You break, take ball in hand, and try and clear the table. Now, it is all ball fouls, so if you touch another ball going down on the shot, or anything like that, your turn is over, right? You get one chance to try and clear the table. Now you get to shoot 4 racks of that. So your total possible score is 60. Oh, the 6 went in the side. It didn't look like it went from our view. Nice shot from Dave there. He's got himself on top of the 9 a little bit, but the 8's right there shouldn't be too bad. So you can get 60 total points from 15-ball. And then you'll play 3 matches of 9-ball, and they're short. They're races to 3, and it's alternating break. So nobody's running the set out. But all told, you can score during each meetup, you can score a total of 120 points possible. Now, for that, you have to run all 4 racks of 15-ball and then win all 3 of your 9-ball matches. Each match counts for 20 points. So after the end of 6 meetups, your total possible score would be 720 if you played absolutely perfect every single time. Now, nobody's ever done that. And speaking of things that don't happen very often, the 15-ball total score, like I said, is 60 for a day. And it is so infrequent that Mark actually offers anybody that does it a cash prize. It's a one-time only cash prize, so you can't just go in there and, run your 60 points every week. That being said, at last story time, Mark said there has only been 8 times where he's had to give that cash prize. Now, this is season 5 of this event that he's been running between the two areas, and I think there's something close to like 2,000 something attempts at this across all players and all seasons and sessions. So eight players have gotten a cash prize for getting all 60 points. It is incredibly difficult because not only do you have to have a really solid break with a good spread of the table, you also have to maintain your focus for 60 balls in very tight patterns and tight position. You have to have good cue ball control and great mental discipline. And if you're into that sort of thing, you'll love the game. And if you think you're going to love the game and you try it, you'll find out just how quick things change. So I definitely encourage everyone to give it a try. Okay, now this particular weekend, there was a very big snow and ice storm that came through the Midwest. And some of the players from both St. Louis and Peoria were not able to make it. As such, we had some substitutes, and Rudy is one of them. He's playing for the Peoria team. Nice little back cut there. Unfortunate full ball hit on the 3. He's going to hold him up on the 2. Yeah. Dave Fitzgerald finished 3rd in the St. Louis division. Rudy just misjudges the kick a little bit. Like I said, so Dave finished 3rd place. He was 1 point behind 2nd place. Interestingly enough, I was 1 point behind Dave. So second, 3rd, and 4th were essentially 3-point difference. Pretty entertaining. Also, Peoria's top 6 was also interesting because their 3rd, 4th, and 5th place players all had the same score. Davis ball in hand's not happy with that. He gets himself hooked behind a ball in the middle of nowhere. I'm very curious why he went. Well, I mean, I know you wanted to get up there because, you know, if you can get straight in on the 3, then your shot on the 5 gets not really straight in. But if you get good on the 3 on that side, then you can kind of just punch out a little bit for be relatively straight in on the 5 in this top, I'm sorry, in the lower left corner as we look, which will lead nicely to the 6. So I know why he's up here, but it's just unfortunate that that's how it landed. And a nice jump shot there. Clearly, jump cues are allowed in 9-ball. The only thing not allowed in 9-ball in this format is the push out. We do play 3-foul rule. And I do believe the 9 does count on the break, but we are using the AccuRack. Oh, a little bump. That's actually okay. I can't tell how close he is. I think he can just kind of like do a little mini vertical cue masse thing and just kind of stun out a little bit. Or maybe you can just shoot it straight sideways. Get out to the side. Yeah, I like this. Oh, he had to flip his wrist over to hold it. Tricky shot. And if it has the legs, it's going to be okay. Cut the rail. He doesn't catch the long rail, the ball falls. But it's a tricky shot. Tricky shot indeed. Now Rudy's got another very tricky shot. That ball is deep in the hole. And anybody that's ever tried to play shape off a ball deep in the pocket, especially on these diamonds, that high karate takes and just changes your day a lot. Nice job here if he doesn't hit the 7, or unless he hits it full. Okay, and he's got a nice little angle. He can get down table and play the 8. Well, he's really focused more on position there. certainly don't mind. Oh, geez. Did I forget to give Dave a game? I also forgot to give Dave a game, apparently. He's too busy talking. Okay, so Dave's going to go and play safe here. But yeah, Rudy shot in the 7 there. Like, I certainly don't mind him trying to come back and play 2 rails because off the second rail, you're in line at the 8 the whole way. And you definitely want to give yourself a nice, I'm not going to say easy shot on the 8, but you don't want to have to work too hard, right? You couldn't just leave the cue in the middle of the table. Nice bank there. And he gets back to where he wanted to have been the first time he shot the 7. So now you just kind of roll forward about a foot, shoot the 9 in the other pocket. And there, ooh. See? Sometimes those little mistakes, just a little lack of focus. Just something. Kind of gets in your head and ruins your day. Whoop. I can already see Dave kind of laughing a little bit at that. Like, we've certainly all done that, trying to be a little too forceful with a bridge shot because our normal arm mechanics just don't work the same as a bridge. A lot of players, myself included, when we're down on a shot with a normal bridge, we cue terribly low. But somehow unconsciously, our tip raises up in our final stroke and we don't scoot off the ball. Okay, so Dave goes to 2. Okay, while they're racking, I'm going to see if the jukebox is still playing. Sorry for the jump scare. And yes, it is. I mean, I can turn it down and maybe YouTube won't hit it. Because, I mean, it is nice to have the clack of the balls, and we should get that no matter what. But, you know, just to have something in the background would be nice. I was going to say I thought he hit the rack square. I looked away for a second and I saw the corner ball go. It's a pretty nice layout here. He did lose the cue ball though. Dave starting with ball in hand and a pretty wide open table. 2 to the 4, which is behind the 9. Looks like the only particularly tricky situation. And he's fallen kind of straight here. Now, I think he can still punch this into the rail with some spin. And, yep, just get around the 5. Ooh, maybe not that much. But you need to make sure to get around the 5. So now he's got to work one more time. He's going to clip. Yeah. Look out 8. Oh, the double clip on the 8. Okay. See, I didn't think he would clip the bottom of the 9, but if he didn't hit the 9, he had to hit the 8, you know, one or the other. And looks like the 8 helped him a couple times there. So good recovery. He's pretty well in line. I kind of like drawing this deep into the corner and then play the 8 in the side. Because you have just don't often like having to hit a ball quite that hard if you don't have to, and it can be tricky. So, but didn't bother him. He did a real nice job, and obviously a pretty natural angle from the 8 to the 9. Overhit it just a hair if you want to be nitpicky. But just you're going to stretch out over the corner here. You waste, oh, I was going to say you waste no time. Dave sometimes does get a little bit ahead of himself in a bit of a rush. Certainly something we all do from time to time. We saw Rudy do it last rack. So Rudy gets on the board, 2-1, race to 4. Oh, I don't think I actually gave all the scores. So the MVP for season 5 for St. Louis was Greg Naud. His MVP power ranking score was 513. Randy Rudd was second place with 462. Dave Fitzgerald here is 461. Myself, John Perkey, 460. Fifth place, Roger Stum, 447. And sixth place was Dustin Dickett at 439. Now, Randy was unable to make it because of the weather, so John Schneider is our sub at 344. You'll see some matches with him in it. Moving to the Peoria team, their MVP of the season was Eric Noretto. It is not his first time being MVP, and he scored a 570 this time. Their second place was Anthony Ciartano. I've not met him. I don't think I've heard anybody say his name. Anthony, if you hear this, or Tony, I am sorry that I just butchered your name. He scored 568, so just 2 points behind Eric. So that was one of those 15 ball things where something fell short. Now, third, fourth, and fifth place are Brian Jason, Mark Dean, and Don Lawson. And they all had the same score of 547. And Michael Mattingly finishes out their sixth at 518. Now, Eric Noretto also was unable to make it. And Rudy is, I think, the sub for Eric. Oh, here Dave's just trying to figure out where he wants to play safe here. What's going to happen with the 2-ball? You don't really want to tie up the 2-ball. I think he's going to try and bring the cue ball back under the 4 and just kind of send the 2 down table. Catches the 6 and doesn't get the cue there. So it's a long shot. It's relatively thin, but it carries perfect natural position. You just need to have a good angle on the 3 to get back up table for the 4 that's here at the head rail. I like how he hit this instead of trying to slow roll it. You know, go ahead and go that extra rail. It's nice and thin. Now you need a nice good draw stroke here. Maybe a little bit of left spin. Yeah, it doesn't quite get there. And I don't know if the carom to the 6 is on. But the safety behind the 9 should be, but kind of let up on that one a little bit, but he didn't leave anything real easy. I do think the cross to the side is available, but it's also not great. It could also be a cross corner. Could also be a 2-way where you send the 3-ball up table and let the cue ball roll forward behind the 7. You just have to make sure that 3 doesn't actually go in the corner, otherwise you've hooked yourself there. I think he was trying to tie up the 3-7 with that, just based on how thin he hit it. Not terribly sure about that shot because even if he had made the 8, he would not have anything good on the 3. Unless he hits the 8 just perfectly, the 3 stays in front of the hole. Maybe that's what he was thinking. But here we go, got another, like, just graze it. Try and hold them behind those balls, let the cue ball. Yep, right there. Great shot, Rudy. If you play a bunch of 1-pogger, there's a cross here, but I think he's going to do the same thing. Just try and get behind the 4. Not terrible. Just need a little, just a hair bit of helper spin. And it should change the angle how he hits the 4 there. Of course, this is all hindsight, and you never miss from the booth. I get it. Don't know about that one necessarily. Here's another opportunity where he can bank this ball away with a little bit of left spin. So when the cue ball hits the end rail, it straightens up and just wedges up behind the 9. Touchy shot. Yep, overcut that one a little bit, which is why the cue ball leaked out. Oh, and he left it. But the 7-8 still tied up. So unless he can open him here off the 4, which he's got a great angle to do that. I just want to draw in, and you kind of don't want to risk hitting the 8 or the 7, I mean, because you don't want to get stuck behind the 8, but you really want to make sure you get into those balls. Great shot, just like that. Really well done. And he's got not much angle in the 5 to get out for the 6, but I think you just got to force this forward, get out to the middle of the table. Oh, he's able to draw it. Okay, nicely done. I like that even better. Now, I have watched a couple of Rudy's matches already, and he tends to like to go forward more than draw, so I just assumed that he would have done that. A little bit of a tester here on the 8. Well, the number of times I've tried to backhit a ball and accidentally banked it in like that, I have lost count. But it didn't really help him because he lost the cue ball a little bit, left himself very tough, and ended up hanging that. Sorry, missing. He didn't hang that one. That would be crazy if he had actually hung that. All right, and Dave gets on the hill. Did they get... I feel like we just watched Rudy break. You know, I'm getting confused. Sometimes that happens. This is where a co-commentator would be great. And if I do this for next session, which I have every intention of doing, I will try and get a co-commentator, and I will round up some background music that won't get me in trouble with YouTube deities. I know plenty of it exists. All right. Rudy's got a ball down. A long, tough look at the 1. The 3 is hanging, though, so there's definitely a reward for going for it, but he catches it quite full. Now he's going to let Dave see it. The 6 ball is kind of huge. I almost would rather prefer cut the 1 here and let the cue ball just kind of die in this general area to make sure I get a shot on the 3. Because otherwise, I got to back cut this, right? If the 1 goes here, then now my cue ball has got to come all the way across. Yeah. And he did it. Way overhit it, though, you can tell. You know, cue ball went, that's 2 extra diamonds further across than it needed to go. But yeah, Rudy's got what I call a little finesse shot, right? I'm going to hit this with like a kill stroke, maybe a kill with a hair of inside to kind of burn off some of that speed. Stay down there, or you can come up and down. It looked like he actually did hit that with a little bit of right spin. He needed to be more natural, right? So it comes more this way. But instead, it came off just a little short, and here's where we're at. Oh, nice kick. Did it wedge up on the rail where it can't really go? Could be interesting. I think you can spin this ball in and avoid the scratch if you hit it rail first. Kind of masse into it and let the spin carry it, but you can't hit it with speed. Yeah, just kind of like that. Any more speed in the rail first just takes that cue ball straight into the corner pocket. Looks like the 4 is back cuttable. Does have a reward if he gets it down. That is very thin. I don't think the 7's in the way. Can't tell quite how backwards he's got to go. Oh, well, maybe he went that way instead. Watch out, cue ball. Okay, well, they're just going to sit there. Now Rudy's got a very similar shot. It's going to have to go around the table. I don't believe the 5 passes the 9. Otherwise, he would just roll it in and take the shot from there. But I think he's going to try and come around. Okay. All right. You come all the way down underneath. You play the 6 or 5 in the side. Well, now he's going to play the 5 in the corner. And it just hangs up. This should do it. I do believe Dave is going to run these out. 6 to the 7 is kind of natural from anywhere, and 7 to the 9 is not trivial, but it is also routine, right? It is a very common position route that 9-ball players have to shoot a lot, as long as you don't get straight in on the 7. It's a little flatter than I thought he would have gone for, but I think he can just draw this back. It's kind of more of a stun backwards, not so much a draw. Yeah, just like that. Nicely done. Get off the rail. Okay. This is for the set. And there it is. Cue ball threatening, but no chance. Dave takes it down. 4-1. Nicely played. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back with more US Team Billiards All-Star Championship 2025, November 29th. Thank you all. Good night.